Hello everyone and welcome to another casual review. Today I'm talking about Star Wars Republic Commando. This is the fourth and final Star Wars game for my May the 4th marathon. I had a lot of fun going through all of the Star Wars games and will probably continue watching my Clone Wars watch through. I just finished season 1 and I am pretty hooked in at this point. If anyone hasn't seen the show, I recommend giving it a couple episodes chance for it to really find its feet and get the story going, because the first episodes seemed pretty rough and I bounced off them the first couple times I tried to watch this show. But stick with it, and once you get through season 1, then you can judge whether you want to keep watching it or not. Now, I also am pretty glad that I have been watching the Clone Wars, because in this game you play as a special squad of clone commandos that go on these spec op missions. They're more elite than the regular clones that you see, but it takes place during the events of the Clone Wars. So to be more specific, this has 3 separate little missions that you play through, which is a little weird because it makes the game feel a little disjointed. It's almost like you're playing through 3 separate mini games, because you go to 3 separate worlds with 3 separate missions. But anyway, the first mission takes place during that big battle in Star Wars Attack of the Clones, Episode 2, where you fight against the Geonosians, I think that's their name, the insect guys, and then you obviously fight against the Separatist droids as well. So that's a fun thing to play through, especially having known the source material. It's now you gotta play through it. The other 2, I'm not sure if those events might show up in later seasons of the Clone Wars, and I haven't gotten to it yet. Obviously, this doesn't take place before Order 66 happened, otherwise you would be against the Jedi rather than taking orders from them. But the second mission, you kind of get to this abandoned ship that is full of these Targaryens, I think their name is, and they're these green alien things with knives, and they apparently abduct people to be slaves, and so you fight a lot of those guys, and obviously you're fighting these separatist droids along the whole way as well. And then the third mission that you play through, you are on the Wookiee planet helping out the Wookiees. And I just want to say that I really appreciate the Wookiee representation in this game, and actually the droid representation in this game. But the Wookiees themselves are huge, and you really get a feel of how strong a Wookiee is, because I don't feel like the movies necessarily showed that. I think, well, maybe it was what was it, Solo, where Chewbacca tears off someone's arms. Am I misremembering that? But I believe that happens. Anyway, in this game you get to see just these Wookiees drop kicking droids all over the place and punching them and ripping them in half, and it is really cool to see Wookiees shown in this way. But the droids themselves are cool too. You fight a lot of the regular combat droids, like in the Clone Wars. These are the guys that always say Roger Roger, and then you fight the rolling guys that have the force fields on them. But all in all, while I was impressed with the enemy designs in this game, I felt like there wasn't enough, and we could have used a little more variety in terms of enemies, in terms of locations that you visit, because 3 is not enough, and in terms of weapons. Your basic weapon is going to be an assault rifle, so think similar to something like in Halo. You have that assault rifle. You also obtain ammo to make your assault rifle into a sniper rifle, and then a grenade launcher. And then there are a couple different weapons that you can pick up off of enemies. However, the ammo for the really good weapons obviously is going to be quite limited, and then the Targaryens weapons, the ammo that they drop is plentiful. However, it isn't that good compared to your basic assault rifle. And you can't really pick up any weapons off of the droids either. So if you're fighting against a bunch of droids, you're pretty much stuck to using your 3 different weapons. Now, I was a little nervous starting up this Star Wars game that is primarily a first-person shooter, having just come off of the heels of Jedi Knight 2, and I really did not like the shooting mechanics in Jedi Knight 2, probably because I'm really bad. But this Jedi Knight 2 did not have any auto-aim, and you had to be really precise with your shots. It was very nitpicky that way. And this game feels a lot more modern in that aspect, a lot more similar to Halo. I'll be making a lot of comparisons between the two. And this game does have auto aim to some degree. I would have preferred even a little more help using the auto aim, because I'm really bad at first person shooters if I'm playing with 2 analog sticks. And I felt like I was missing quite a lot even with that auto aim turned on, but it still helped a lot and it still felt good. Like when I was playing through Jedi Knight 2, it felt like I was fighting the game's mechanics, and in this game I felt like it was just my own skill that was keeping me down, if that makes any sense. So, like I mentioned, you are the leader of this Delta squad of these Republic commandos, these special clones bred for these spec op missions. And the beginning of the game is actually pretty cool because you start on the planet with those aliens that helped make all of the clones, and you get to see like the origins of what it's like to be a clone and be created just for the purposes of battle. And you are leading 3 other of these commandos, and they all have their own personalities and weapon preferences and voices, which when I was watching through the Clone Wars, all of the clones have a very similar voice, and in this game all the clones have different voices. I guess it's just up to the creator how they want their clones to sound, but I did appreciate my squad at least having these different voices so I could distinguish all 3 of them and their personalities. And it's fun because like as you're playing through, they'll kind of banter with each other. Now some of the voice logs are repeated quite often. Like if you tell one of your squad mates to complete an action, they will say the same line that you've heard a million times, but that's not like too big of a deal. Not to mention you have like 3 of these squad mates, so the voice lines are going to be varied a little bit between the 3 of them. So, like I mentioned, you can tell your commandos to perform certain actions, and these can range from things like, hey, go to this position and snipe enemies, or go here and start throwing grenades at people. Hey, you need to go to this Bacta tank and heal up because your health is low, and you can tell your squad to, hey, everyone focus your fire on this one enemy, or hey, go ahead and disarm this mine. You can perform all of these actions yourself, but why not make some of your squad mates do it so you can just focus on the action of shooting the enemy? And it was pretty cool being in charge of this whole squad, telling them what to do. Like, okay, everyone take defensive cover, or everybody follow me and form up, and hey, you do this, and you do this, and you do that. And it wasn't like too complicated. It was pretty much just like point at the object you want one of your squad members to interact with and press the A button. But still, it is a fun concept. I've never played a squad game like this before. I know that they do exist. This is just the first one that I've been introduced to. You can even revive your teammates, similar to a game like Gears of War, where if they get fallen down, you can like a defibrillator of some sort and heal them back up. And this works for you too. So if you get downed and you have teammates that are alive, you can order them to resurrect you, even though normally their direct orders are to defeat the enemy first. But it's like, no, resurrect me because I wanna play. I don't want to just wait for your firefight to end. I want to say the game is difficult in a lot of aspects, but when I got to the mid game, I was struggling with some of the flying enemies because they are very jittery and I had trouble aiming at them, and you are able to change the difficulty setting anytime you want. And so about halfway through the game, I did just bump this down to easy, so I didn't have to keep getting those game overs and trying again at the last save spot. It is pretty generous with its checkpoints, and you do have a dedicated quick save button, which I wish more games offered, especially for a poor gamer like myself. But yeah, I just saved myself a little bit of stress. I did bump this down to easy, and I could have bumped it up to normal or hard difficulty whenever I wanted later into the game. This game also has HD rumble, and I think this game originally came out in 2006, and it was ported or remastered or whatever to more modern consoles. Now, the other Star Wars games that I had played through for this marathon did not get the HD rumble treatment, so it was nice having it here. This game just felt a lot more modern in general in terms of gameplay. It felt like I was playing a modern game rather than like an old N64 game or PC game. Now, this game does have a lot of loading screens. You'll be sectioned off, not necessarily, I guess you could call them levels, but if you do call them levels, then I would say that the levels themselves are really short and very plentiful. So you'll be in between each level, you have to sit through a little loading screen, nothing too huge, maybe like a 10-second loading screen at the most, and you can read little hints and tips and knowledge about your teammates. So that didn't bug me too much, even on the Switch console. Now, this game, especially the Switch port, got a lot of flack for its poor performance on the Switch, so I was a little worried about that going into this game. However, while I did see the occasional hiccup and stutter in terms of gameplay, I found this game totally playable, and I don't think that I really have any complaints as far as the performance goes. It's not like I had any hard crashes or anything like that. So obviously this is going to be on a scale depending on how much you can tolerate for your game's performance, but me personally, no complaints really. Overall, I just like the tone of this game. It's a very like gritty, hardcore game, you know, like the commandos all feel like real cool characters, and you definitely don't want to like get in their way, and they totally know what they're doing, and they're just so confident, and you have your melee attack is like a knife, and when you stab the Geonosian, then like blood splatters on the screen, and I just wish that we saw a lot more of this grittiness for more of these Star Wars games, and I hope that in the future we get more gritty Star Wars content, because I dig it, you know, like I also dig the Clone Wars, more targeted towards children kind of content, but you know, over here on the side I would like more Republic Commandos type of material as well. One of my big complaints though is the very end of this game feels like it ends quite abruptly and on a cliffhanger, and I was told that there was supposed to be a sequel in the works. However, that unfortunately never materialized, so we're just left on this cliffhanger with no conclusion. And I have heard that there are books that continue this story of this game, but I don't know. I just wish that we got some sort of conclusion for the game, or someday, like maybe they could go back to making a sequel. Like it's highly doubtful, but one can hope, right? Out of my whole Star Wars May the 4th marathon, this is my favorite game out of the 4 that I've played through, and I actually do recommend it. Even if you aren't a big Star Wars fan, I think that there's still a lot of enjoyment to be had here. I would give this game a 4 out of 5, and I'm pretty happy that I was able to save the best for last. Well guys, that's it for me. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about Star Wars, Republic Commando, or the Star Wars series in general. May the Force be with you. I forgot to say that in my last Star Wars video, but from now on, just for all future videos, just it goes without saying that I hope that the Force is always with you. I will talk to you later. Bye!